No, Classic Sonic does not need to die. In fact, I think Classic Sonic should actually stay. Ever since Sonic made the jump to 3D with Sonic Adventure, Sonic's design had clearly changed. He now has green eyes, a larger body, and lanky limbs. Sonic had completely changed from what people already knew Sonic as. People loved the cute yet little classic Sonic with attitude. That charm is what made Sonic's character to a lot of people. But again, that clearly changed. And to me, yeah, I think it was for the better. I do think it made Sonic cooler. He even gained a cool new voice to suit that redesign. After all, it seemed like Sonic was going to be different. But truth be told, it did not fly for a lot of fans at the time. And the complaints about Sonic changing has stuck with Sega up until now. I think it's fair to say that the classic fans lost something first. They had to lose something for 3D modern fans to even be able to complain about classic Sonic. Due to that, I still think that classic Sonic will and forever be a different flavor of Sonic. I mean, what usually comes with classic Sonic is a different style of game all around. Most of the 2D modern Sonic games have played quite differently from the classic Sonic ones. It is true that the Sonic Advance games are the most similar to the classics, but they are also quite different with how they structure the level design, as well as the pinball physics do not feel the same as the physics we all know and love. Classic Sonic is more than just a look. I mean, it could very much well not be the case if Sega wanted to, and they have tried this once with Sonic 4, and we all know how that turned out. And it has nothing to do with the model for that game, they just severely dropped the ball. So the reputation with modern Sonic in that style is a little ruined. But when Sonic Team wants to make a true classic Sonic game, it has the core elements that people loved about them. Whether it's how the music sounded, the visual design of the levels, and overall feel. This truly makes classic Sonic games special, and it has always been different from modern Sonic. I think modern Sonic pushed Sonic along to the realistic environments, more involved storylines, and an overall tonal shift. But even modern Sonic has backtracked on some of those elements. So would you even call current age modern Sonic anymore? I feel like the elements of the modern Sonic age are wildly inconsistent, and of course even adopting many elements of the classic games from time to time. I feel like this is even true considering that people label the different eras of modern Sonic in their own categories, because of how different they all feel from each other. For example, the Adventure era, the Dark era, and the Meta era. Sonic fans came up with that on their own. Those old elements will always be integral to the series, so that makes sense for them to want to keep the classic age around to any degree. And I don't think modern Sonic fans can talk about classic Sonic needing to have some innovation like modern, when modern is having trouble innovating itself, and sometimes innovating in the wrong direction to make the game worse. We can't act like modern Sonic has been consistent when classic Sonic has been consistent. People don't come up with different era names for classic Sonic because it's just classic Sonic. It's consistent. And this isn't a dig at the modern games, I still prefer some modern Sonic games over classic Sonic games. My favorite Sonic game is Sonic Adventure 2, and right behind it is some of the classic games like Sonic 3 and Mania. And I still love Sonic Adventure and Generations, and even Unleashed. Now let's talk about the word that Sonic fans love to use against each other when they're arguing over the games. Nostalgia. The term nostalgia has had some terrible negative connotation added to it when people discuss games or almost anything old that they still enjoy. I think the meaning needs to be reversed backwards because nostalgia should be a good thing. You're playing video games right now to make memories in the first place. And when you make those said memories, people will bash you for holding those opinions. That's the whole point of gaming, man, having fun and making memories. This is a very subjective hobby, as gaming is a hobby for most people. Now let's talk about the classic Sonic nostalgia. Now despite what I just said, there are some business reasons why Sega is pushing classic Sonic, and it's true. It is partly to capture the nostalgia of casual and hardcore fans alike. It's because they believe it will sell very well, and I think they are right. And that did lead to them shoehorning classic Sonic into some modern games like Sonic Forces. And it was great as a one-time anniversary thing for Sonic Generations, but by Forces it really lost the magical effect for me, especially when he literally was in the game for no reason narratively. I think that's when classic Sonic is at his absolute worst, being shoehorned in. This made everyone complain about putting him in his own game again, and that's what Sega is doing now. Now they are having a pillar system with the franchise and are going to be releasing modern and 2D games for both audiences. And to me, this is perfect. They will cater to both audiences. It's wild to me that we got a 2D classic game and a modern 3D game within a year. At least for modern day Sonic, this is great. I think that alone should just make people honestly shut up. You're now always going to get a game that you want, and then there's going to be another 2D game that you could also get if you want. I think it isn't fair to say either one should be gone when the audience has been built up for both sides of the fan base for so many years now. Coexistence is the peak system to please both. You don't have to buy either games. If you aren't interested, then that's all it really needs to be. One or the other doesn't need to die. The only thing that needs to die about Classic Sonic is the term Classic Sonic. It drives further separation of the two different Sonics, when to me, Sonic should just be Sonic, no matter if he's the younger or older version of himself. He needs to be one character consistently. And of course we have the movie Sonic, and that can be its own thing within that universe, as well as Prime, but at least for the games, it needs to be one single character. But Classic Sonic and Modern Sonic do not need naming separation. Sonic is Sonic.
Well, whatever happens, happens.